Oh, let me tell you something. Busting makes me feel good.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Blockbusting, the podcast where we love to hate movies. I'm Jay Light. I'm your host. Joining me today, my guest, the wonderful Zach Noe Towers.
Sup?
Sup? How are you?
I'm great. I'm just beating the heat. How about you?
I'm also I'm beating that heat. I'm wearing jeans. It was a bad choice. I immediately feel it.
Yeah. I'm just like, I'm going between like sweating and drying. Like I'm chafing.
Do you have air conditioning where you live?
I have air conditioning in my bedroom, like in the window, and I just like lay on my bed beneath the unit and just like that's the safe zone.
My roommate just got an air conditioning installed in his room because none of our windows in our apartment are air conditioning ready.
Equipped, yeah.
But his was, and it's just the jankiest setup. Like it's got the AC unit is tiny, the window is gigantic, so he has like plywood and cardboard
and like a rag.
It has lowered the property value of our apartment significantly.
But the quality of life has gone up.
Just for him. I don't have access to this sweet air conditioning. I just have to blow a fan on myself all the time.
Wow.
Well, he was out of town this weekend, so I kept opening the door to his room, turning the air conditioning on, and blowing fans out. So
good for
I got
you.
a little something.
Good for you.
Something.
Jack that AC.
Something ingenuity. Yankee ingenuity? Is that something? I don't remember.
Oh,
I don't know. God, the movie you have chosen to talk about today, Dreamcatcher.
Yeah.
Oh man. What have you done to me?
I'm sorry. Well, it's so crazy. It's like I don't pride myself on remembering things I hate. Like I when you asked me what movie I hated, nothing was like coming to my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And then like this, like it was made in 2003, I think.
Yep, 2003.
Based on the Stephen King novel, which I didn't read. But I told you just a second ago, it's the only movie I think I've ever walked out of. And you can see why.
Yeah. So you walked out of the movie. First of all, if you haven't watched it,
oh my god,
I don't recommend it.
Yeah, I don't.
It's really bad. It's Dreamcatcher 2003, sci-fi horror film based on Stephen King's novel, directed by of Empire Strikes Back, Raiders of the Lost Ark, and a whole bunch of other Star Wars fame. Lawrence Kasdan.
Wow, I didn't realize.
Stars Tom Jane, Jason Lee, Damian Lewis, Timothy Olyphant, Morgan Freeman, Tom Sizemore, Donnie Wahlberg. There's like people in this movie.
There's fucking people.
It was released in 2003. It's basically a movie about
not a Dreamcatcher.
There's Dreamcatcher is barely a plot device.
Nothing. I don't think to do.
Yeah. It shows up. There's a Dreamcatcher that shows up for maybe 5 to 10 seconds total of the movie.
Sure.
But that's it. It has nothing to do with it. It's all about like weird aliens and psychic powers
and like
the
clairvoyant bros.
Yeah, super bros.
It's like Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, but with bros and psychic abilities. And no pants.
Like the
Dreamcatcher is the pants, I guess.
Or their slow stuttering friend.
Oh my god,
Duds
it. So is that the Wahlberg?
That's the Wahlberg.
Okay.
That's the Wahlberg who made it into this movie. The one he was like, "Hey, can we have you plan a mentally handicapped clairvoyant guy who also might be an alien?" And his friends are like, "Hey, let's use you for your powers."
Yeah,
it's very strange.
It's so weird.
It's a real weird movie. So you watched it you saw this in theaters?
Yeah, in theaters, like.
And you walked out.
I must have been really, how old? I wasn't that young. I was probably like 16, 16, something like that. I don't know. Yeah, I was just like, it's a point where like Morgan Freeman's introduced and then like aliens and the government start taking over the storyline. And I'm like, whoa. This was sold to me as like a scary cabin in the woods movie.
Yeah, that's how it looked on all the trailers. I remember vividly seeing those trailers being like, oh, this looks kind of scary. And I wasn't really into horror movies at the time, but I was like, yeah, this looks like a thing.
I love horror movies. But then the other plot device is, do you remember what the symptom is when someone's infected and about to have the alien baby?
Oh, they fart.
Yeah, they start
farting.
They start farting. You can't use farts as a scary like plot device. Like, oh no, he started farting. That means his life is nearing an end.
There's a lot of shitting and farting that
blood.
goes on in this movie.
Yeah.
It's a real. Why did you walk out when you were there? Like, what point in the movie were you like, I'm totally over this. There's no way I'm gonna continue
Morgan
watching
Freeman's
this.
eyebrows. They're insane. They're like little wigs on his eyebrows.
He's
They're
got
big,
some eyebrow
fluffy.
merkins going on.
And that must have been like a thing in the book. Like, this man has the longest eyebrows you've ever seen.
And I can imagine Stephen King going on for pages and pages about this man's eyebrows.
Yeah. I guess at some point I was just like, no more. I refuse. You've pushed me to my limit as a believer in like the fantastical, events of a thriller.
Yeah. So you like horror movies.
I love horror movies.
And are you a Stephen King fan as well?
Not particularly. Like, I love The Shining, but the Kubrick version that I know.
Right.
I can't say that I've like read a bunch of his books. I feel like the movies always kind of turn out dumb.
Yeah.
The It remake
I
was
heard
okay.
I never actually saw it. You're the first person who had on here who said it was okay.
Did everyone else say bad?
No, they liked it.
Oh, so I have a big thing against CGI, and they really went to town with the CGI clown, and it takes me out of it. It's same with this movie. There's like the bad guy's an old school alien, like big green, slimy, big-eyed alien,
like the Roswell Area
like the
51
bumper sticker,
to the point where they call him Mr. Gray.
Who also the slow character with his lisp calls him Mr. Gay. It's too many. Every time you think, like, when the one guy goes bad, he takes on a British personality.
Right.
The ginger all-American man as an evil person becomes British. Like, there's too many things.
There's so much going on in this movie, and I watched it yesterday. I had to do it in a couple different takes of trying to watch it because I had to leave.
Yeah.
But I've fallen asleep during a couple movies trying to talk about stuff for the show, and it's the only movie that I've fallen asleep during that I did not rewind to see what I had watched.
Like, I'll figure it out.
I figured it out. It's like, okay, I'll just read the Wikipedia. The Wikipedia page is more interesting, and everything makes more sense on the Wikipedia page. God. Okay, let's go through piece by piece. It starts out, and it just introduces this group of bros.
Who are, yes. Mm-hmm.
You have
one suicidal, first of all.
Yep.
The first one, or Tom Jane or whatever, is suicidal.
Right.
He's about to kill himself.
Yes, he literally pulls out a gun and puts a gun to his head. And then that's how the movie starts.
Yeah. And then the phone rings because his clairvoyant bro, I think,
Jonesy.
Jonesy picked up on the fact that he was maybe going to kill himself.
Yeah. And they all have, two of them have very bro-y names. There's Jonesy and Beaver. Played by Jason Lee.
Wow.
Which is not a name that you can ever, they get so sad when he dies, but they're just screaming, Beaver, no!
I know. It's also, we're jumping around a lot, but he dies because he wants to pick up a toothpick.
Yeah.
Do you remember that part?
Yeah.
There's he's in a room covered in alien blood. His job is to sit on the toilet because the alien's in the toilet.
Right.
And he's also addicted to toothpicks. His toothpicks have fallen all over the bloody floor except for one that's in a patch
tile
of clean tile. And 8 times he goes to reach for it and the alien kind of bucks him off the toilet a little bit. And it's just it exhausts me talking about it. That's insane.
It's such a movie. It's a movie that makes a lot of choices that don't make sense. And I am also not a Stephen King fan. Not because I don't like his work. I am a big fan of The Shining as well. Mm-hmm. I really like his book On Writing. It's a fascinating book. And I think there's a thing he talks about in the book where he's like, the people who make my movies do a terrible job.
Oh, he admits that?
He cops to it. He's like, as a guy who has a literal production company based on making just Stephen King movies and TV shows, I can't imagine just him watching movies like this and saying, wow, I don't know what they did to this book and turned it into this movie, and it's just so all over the place.
I can only hope that the book is like obviously like longer, slower paced, like really takes its time with these because it's just so jarring how all these things happen in this movie.
Right. Everything happens immediately, and there's no backstory that is explained. The only time they really get into the backstory of the psychic powers is like an hour and a half into the movie.
Yes, towards the end.
After,
You're like,
yeah.
what?
When they have to go literally Young Beaver, which that's my new rap name, by the way.
Young Beaver.
I'm Young Beaver.
You do that would be you, him. He has the glasses.
Yeah,
in the.
It's me, and he's like, oh, we got to go find. He literally said, we got to go find a girl from the retard camp. Who's like falling down a well,
literally,
and they like, what do we do? Oh, we have to all get these psychic powers now. What did Duddits do to us? And it just makes no sense. The jump from, you know what? It's really hard. It's hard to tell what kind of movie this was going to be from the jump. I had no idea because it seems like it's just bros like hanging out, and they also have psychic powers. And they're like, okay, I don't know what this is going to be. It seemed maybe it'll be like a thriller, or it was
like
pitched
Cabin
as a horror
in the
movie.
Woods.
Cabin in the Woodsy.
They're hunting. There's a guy that shows up and he's sick, and you're like, oh, like. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the aliens start showing up, and and there's a whole bunch of shit going on, and nobody knows what to do, and people are out like wandering in the woods. They find this woman who's like also like crazy sick.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, about an hour and change in, it jumps to Morgan Freeman in like a crazy military town that's been set up.
FBI set up, containment cages,
and
helicopters.
To the point where it's like a super underground secret military operation where they're like, we don't wear badges or identification. We don't call you sir. We call you boss.
Yeah.
They have all this like weird lingo that's just like, all right, I guess they're just trying to be cool military guys. But then Morgan, I mean, the one joy that I got out of this movie was hearing Morgan Freeman say cocksucker over and over again. That's probably the best part of this movie, is hearing Morgan Freeman just being like, we got to get these cocksuckers out. We're going to get these aliens.
With that soothe, put me to bed voice.
Yep. And he's just so intense and so serious. And you ever watch a movie where you see the actors in the movie and you can maybe tell that they realize that this is going to be an incredibly awful movie during production?
Mm-hmm.
That's how I felt watching literally everybody in this movie. Morgan Freeman especially.
The awareness behind the eyes.
Yep.
Like, uh-oh.
Every time they cut to Morgan Freeman in a helicopter gunning people down, you can just tell, like, all right, he's sitting.
Checked out.
He's totally checked out. He's just like, he put me in the green screen, and we're gonna let's just do this
for 2 more hours.
I gotta do this came out before March of the Penguins, I'm sure.
I hope so.
I think March of the Penguins is probably the palate cleanser that Morgan Freeman needed after Dreamcatcher.
His people were like, you have no choice.
Yeah. We need people to like you
again. And just your voice. Like, we need to get the image of you with those furry eyebrows like out of people's.
Right.
I'm really stuck on the eyebrows.
The eyebrows are real. They're like Velcro. You can get stuck on them.
Oh my God. It's too much.
It's too much all at once.
Mm-hmm.
It's trying to throw in so many plot lines. It's ridiculous to the point where it can't even be campy.
Well, then this is where I lost it. Morgan Freeman is bad somehow amidst the aliens being bad.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. That's another big downfall of this movie is you can't tell who the antagonist is.
Sure.
Morgan Freeman is technically the bad guy because he's like, we need to kill all of the people who are infected, including women and children. Right. But also, yeah, I get it. You're trying to keep the people safe and don't let aliens get into the reservoir and spread this weird fungus.
And then, like, no closure either. Like, does everyone get better? Like, are all those people still infected and about to give birth to alien babies?
Who knows? I think if there's anything that I can get out of this movie, it's that I'm glad that Damian Lewis was able to recover from this career-wise and he won an Emmy for Homeland, right? or a Golden Globe or something.
Oh, I believe that.
Yeah, he became. I mean, he's the villain in Homeland now. Yep, Megan, my trusty engineers confirming. He's so just like he's the only person I think in this movie who didn't phone it in.
Sure.
Because he kind of can't. Because he is playing essentially a dual role.
Yes.
Once he gets possessed.
And he does it well. It's just, yeah.
It's like his character was sucked out of an actually decent movie and thrown into this, and nobody in the movie knows how to handle that. And the writing is so bad, and they're just like, oh, he sounds like James Bond.
Oh my God. Morgan Freeman has a line too. He's like, I trust them like a fox in a hen house, and I'm here to kick some ass. It's like, what? That didn't even connect.
I'm going to pull up some of let's see if I can find some memorable quotes from this movie on IMDb. If there even is a section of that.
IMDb probably does not acknowledge it as a movie.
It probably, I mean, it shouldn't. This movie is so bad. It's got, amazingly enough, it has a 5.5.
Wow.
On IMDb.
Wow. My bowel movements have higher.
It won. It got 5 nominations. Oh, it's all bad movies. It got nominated for Worst Film at the Fangoria Chainsaw Awards.
Wow.
For the biggest disappointment of the year by the Golden Schmoes Awards from our friends at Schmoes No Movie Show.
Wow.
And the Teen Choice Award nominee for Choice Movie, Horror or Thriller.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So that's legit. Like the Teen Choice Awards really respects it as a film.
Here's what it was up against. Signs.
Oh, weird.
Red Dragon, Identity, House of a Thousand Corpses, Final Destination 2, Darkness Falls, the Tooth Fairy movie where the Tooth Fairy's evil, and the winner, The Ring.
Oh, The Ring
Which
was
is a great movie.
I loved The Ring.
I can't believe all these movies came out in the same year.
That blows my mind.
And that Dreamcatcher even made it to this point.
That's insane. Dreamcatcher should have just been silent. Everything about it.
You're speechless.
Well, also, I'm just like realizing, I feel like how many of Stephen King's books have like the same setup where it's like 4 young, quirky kids growing up in a small town.
Yep.
Something happens and then it flips forward, because for sure it was like that. And then Stand By Me, was that Stephen King?
That was Stephen
too?
King. Yep.
Yeah. I don't know.
Stand By Me, the body. Yeah. All right, here we go. Here we go. This is. I mean, there's a lot of choice quotes from Jonesy once he starts getting possessed by the alien, and going back and forth between him and Mr. Gray, and riding on a snowmobile, and like this weird, like the weird cuts. This is Jonesy Jones and Mr. Gray. Jonesy, fuck you. Mr. Gray, I know what that expression means. I've studied the foul language section of your memory warehouse. Rather distasteful, I must say. I don't know why I'm making him Australian, because I don't give a shit about this movie. And I can do an Australian accent better than I can do a British one. How about this, Mr. Gray? Eat shit and die. Oh my God.
He's like, kiss my ass, or eat my ass, maybe?
I think they say eat my ass.
This is right before he dies, before Timothy Oliphant.
Yeah, Timothy. Sorry, he says bite my bag, motherfucker.
Bite my bag. Is that a saying? Is that a phrase?
That's not a saying. I've never heard that. We should adopt that. That's actually
bite my bag.
Add that to the lexicon of things you should say.
So aggressive.
But then Mr. Gray says, "All right, I'll bite your bag and everything else."
And then he morphs into a giant worm or whatever and bites him in half.
Oh, man. Oh, other choice quotes, including
Can't wait.
I'm filing that in the who gives a shit section of my memory warehouse. By the way, why do they keep bringing up memory? Why is it a warehouse?
Well, did you see those cutaways where he's in like that warehouse?
Yes. Again, another thing that doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
No.
I guess I get why you have to do it as a device.
Yeah.
But
like he's not completely gone.
Right. And he's just like in a different filter over in this
in a
like
little
looking at a
little
window.
cubby, yeah.
And you see this alien eye being like, I'm going to come get you. I'm coming for you. I don't know why I keep doing an Australian. I can't do a British accent. I can't do it. Megan's dying in the control room.
It's kind of impressive that you can do the Australian one so well.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know where that came from. Let's see. Beaver. Oh yeah, that's a weird send off too, because one of the guys. I honestly, they all blend together at this point. I don't remember who is who
For sure.
I can't, and I don't care about who is who. I don't care about any of the characters in this movie.
You're supposed to care about the one who's suicidal, but absolutely not.
Yeah, none of these people are interesting. None of them. You have no desire to care about any of them.
Is the beaver thing, or is it the blowjob thing?
No, wait, what's the blowjob thing?
Where
I might have missed
goes,
that.
I think he says like I got blown last night or something. Like, oh, how was your first time? And it's like, nah. It was just like disgusting bro talk, like unfathomably, bro-ish bro talk.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. There's all this bro talk going on in these very serious, like, bloody alien scenes, which would make sense if it were a comedy.
Right.
Like, did you ever see Evolution?
Yeah.
Evolution's great because
Same time
frame, same kind of the similar plot where
Aliens
it's like
taking over
aliens
the
taking
world.
over, and there's all these bro-y dudes who are like bro scientists, as you do in a movie where you get a bro scientist, but it's funny because it's played for laughs.
Right.
This is not played for laughs, but
No.
all the dialogue is laughable.
Yes.
Hey, here's one from Beaver talking to the sick guy. Hey, Rick, you all right in there, buddy? Yeah, I just need to make a little room. I gotta shit this alien
out. Oh my god! And he's farting and he's pooping blood. It's not. There's just nothing scary about a fart.
There's nothing scary about a fart. Oh my god! Here we go. Young Beaver. Hey, you don't want to see the homecoming queen's pussy? Then don't come. Oh, that's another thing. They keep referencing thing as a fuckero.
A fuckero?
You remember that?
I missed that.
There's a part they keep saying like a fuck something is like a fucking oh my god. Yeah, they keep calling things fuckeros, which doesn't make any sense. That's another expression. Nobody uses that.
Just trying to make it a thing.
Yeah. It's so
Diablo Cody does that in movies too. Did you watch her films?
Yes.
She like makes up like little like teen slang.
Right.
And it's like you're
But okay, well,
not a teenager.
If it's teens, you can get away with it at least,
Sure.
because teens do create weird language in all the time.
Right.
Like most of the slang we get now comes from teenage Twitter.
Totally.
But this is adult bros on a camping trip
in the early 2000s.
in the early 2000s. It doesn't make sense. Oh, here we go. Pete and Beaver talking about where to fuck. Bingo. Did you say bingo like the game in church basements? Beaver. Well, there's trim there.
Man.
It's so bad. Oh yeah, and this is again. This movie is somehow this movie did a lot of stuff that gets done in other movies and done so much better. Like the biting off the dick gets done so much better in Snakes on a Plane.
A dick gets bitten off in that?
Dude.
It happened in Piranha.
A snake comes out of a toilet in the plane and bites a dick.
Oh, yes.
Leading to the classic line, fucking snake, get off my dick.
Wait, did it happen to Samuel L. Jackson?
No.
Okay.
This is just some random dude in a plane.
Wow, I've never seen that movie.
You've never seen Snakes on a Plane?
Mm-mm.
Now that's a movie that
Like a bad, good.
That's a
good,
really
bad
great
movie.
bad movie because it's a B movie and it never tries to be anything more than that.
Sure.
And that's what I love
Like,
about Snakes on a Plane.
The Meg is going to be like that.
Yeah, that's the
mega-
vibe I get.
Yeah,
Sharknado seems like that too.
Oh.
I've never seen any of the Sharknados.
that's a super special type of bad.
Right.
That's TV movie.
Yeah,
bad.
TV movie bad. That's a segment of I haven't even touched on this podcast yet.
That's a good. Yeah.
Somebody pitched doing a Lifetime movie to me a little while ago, and I totally would, but I got to get around to it. I got to figure out what would be the right. Well, I mean,
Just the one episode.
they have to figure out the right one.
Well, that's gotten so meta.
movie.
Didn't Kristen Wiig and Will Ferrell do a Lifetime movie together?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But oh my god, yeah, they're talking about Beaver keeps talking about his dick constantly. He talks about how he's hard all the time.
Oh yeah, what's it called when you're hard all
When
the
you
time?
get a constant Woody and it won't go down. Who says Woody? Over the age of 30. Who are
Woody
you?
was
Jason
ruined
Lee?
during Toy Story. If Woody was ever a thing, Toy Story completely ruined the word Woody referencing your dick.
I can't deny you on that. Okay, so this movie, is so bad, and they try and figure out stuff, and eventually everything kind of gets to this point where they manage, like, they get killed off in various ways by these aliens.
Yeah.
And then they make it to the end of the movie, and they're like, they get to the reservoir, and they, like, have burned down the cabin at this point that's coated in fungus.
Yeah.
And see you later, Beeve.
Yeah.
Another great,
yeah.
awful line as he's, like, burning a cabin
Yeah,
down.
the nostalgia.
Yeah.
See you, Beef.
See you, Beeve. We had some great times talking about your dick
You're
together,
Woody,
Beeve.
yeah. Damn, you're fuckaroo.
And what a real fuckero this movie was. Oh my god. Lawrence Kasdan can bite my bag. This is awful.
What has he done since? That's the
thing. So he's got a really good set of movies that he has written and made. You know, he wrote Empire Strikes Back. He wrote Return of the Jedi. He wrote Star Wars: The Force Awakens and Solo. He also
wrote Solo?
He wrote Solo.
I didn't see it, but
Solo's
it's so
fun.
recent.
It's enjoyable. He also wrote he wrote and directed The Big Chill, which again, that's a classic.
Yeah.
You know, that got nominated for Oscars.
So maybe he did this on a dare.
I don't know, because that's the thing. It's like, this is looking at his filmography, this is the first movie he'd made in 4 years. The last movie he made was a movie called Mumford.
Oh, that sounds familiar, actually.
It's got Ted Danson, Zooey Deschanel, Hope Davis, Jason Lee is in this movie also. A new psychologist
He's got
gives
a Woody for
offbeat advice.
Jason Lee.
I guess he does. I think him and Jason Lee are probably like
fuckarooing.
They're fuckerowing somewhere in some basement in some bingo. They're trying to get some trim, a couple of trim reapers.
Well, that's good. That was good.
I can't believe, and there's no reason why this movie needed to be made. I can't fathom why.
Like, who was pushing it so hard?
Yeah.
And how many? This always blows my mind with bad movies, because you go, like, how did this get through so many levels of, like, a studio team? You know, like, oh no, for sure, the farts, great. Maybe more pooping blood, cool. Big head alien, slimy. You know,
definitely.
Get British. Can we get something British in there?
And Damien Lewis is a British actor too, and I'm sure they were like, "We want you to do a British accent." And he was like, "Great, perfect." And then they're like, "But we want you to sound like Dick Van Dyke and Mary Poppins, and do the worst possible British accent possible."
A chimney sweep covered in poop blood.
Actually, if they could do a Mary Poppins Dreamcatcher crossover, I still wouldn't watch it, but I would be a little bit more intrigued.
I'd be intrigued. Oh, the Dreamcatcher. That's just what it just bites me in the ass. Like, Dreamcatcher, and it's like a picture of a dream catcher, and it's like the woods and like a snowy bank, and it's like, oh, this is gonna be about like something Native American, something like dream based, something like mystical, and it's aliens and military and poop blood farts.
I don't know how different this movie was from the book. But knowing Stephen King, I feel like this is probably a book that he wrote when he was in, like, the throes of a blackout and does not remember writing this book.
Did he write a lot of things in blackouts?
Oh, dude. Stephen King is a raging alcoholic and addict. Or was. I think he's sober now. But he talks about that in non-writing. Like, he doesn't remember writing Carrie. He doesn't remember writing a lot of stuff. Because he would do coke and drink and then just go, like, hang out in his writer's shed and binge write. And write in his laundry room for a while, and then eventually at the very end of that part of the book, before he goes from biography to actually giving writing advice, he talks about, like, yeah, one time my wife was like, "Yeah, you're leaving too many bloody Coke spoons in the dish in the sink. So can you stop, please?
Can you clean your shit up."
Yeah.
Wow.
So I feel like this has to be a book, unless it deviates heavily.
Right.
This book, it can't make any sense. Wow. It's probably better just because it's a book and it's longer. But this definitely has no, like.
It's just
it gets to the supernatural, and then all of a sudden it just goes fucking wackadoo.
It's absurd. Yeah.
If it were, is there anything that you think this movie could have done to make it better? Like, I feel like, for me at least, if it had stayed in just the supernatural lane, and done the kind of thing that you were talking about, where it was focusing on, maybe it's like a real weird, like, mystic force, and they're up against and
if they'd zoned in on something having happened when they were kids in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
And their minds are all connected since they are kids.
Yep.
Like, and develop some mystery that they had to like put the pieces together of. Awesome. But literally the movie is like 80% not that type of movie. You know what I mean? It's aliens and government officials and Morgan Freeman's eyebrows.
I can't get off those eyebrows.
I can't. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I forgot about them until I saw it. I was worried actually because I rewatched it too, like last night or 2 nights ago, and I started and I was like, oh, this isn't as bad as I like remember, and then it got fucking insane. I was like, no, fuck this movie, and then his eyebrows entered. I was like, yeah, I hate it.
All right, yeah, this is the worst.
I picked
made the right call.
Yeah.
Is there a movie that you would recommend people watch instead of Dreamcatcher? Maybe a good horror movie or something that you've seen recently that you like?
Oh, with that, like the opposite of that vibe?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I guess I enjoyed, you know what? Minus the ending, which I think it's really hard for any movie to get perfectly right. There's a movie on Netflix called The Ritual.
Oh, yeah, the movie where it's the four guys in the woods.
Four guys in the woods.
Yep.
And yeah, they start seeing things and experiencing things, and you have to kind of decipher if it's real or not. And it goes a little off the rails, but nothing like this movie. And so I would have to say, like, at the end of it, I was like, okay, I buy it.
Okay.
I'll take it.
Cool. Yeah. And it's on Netflix. You guys can watch that.
Yeah.
I cannot emphasize enough. Do not watch this
Don't
movie.
watch Dreamcatcher.
Don't watch Dreamcatcher. Just
watch the trailer and be like, oh, that seems good. And then never watch it.
Yeah. I should have just stuck with that.
Yeah.
I can't believe you made me did this to me,
sorry.
Zach.
As I was watching, I was like, what are the odds Jay's seen this movie?
Very low. I mean, in 2003, I wasn't even allowed to go see PG-13 movies by myself at that point.
Wow.
So
because you were like
very
7.
sheltered. I was mentally 7.
Sure.
And emotionally 5.
8. Yeah.
Very stunted. Zach, thanks for coming on today, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Where can the listeners find you? And I know you got some big things coming up.
Oh yeah. So you can find me Instagram and Twitter at Zach Noe Towers, ZachNoeTowers, and then in theaters on July 24th, one night only. 250 theaters across the U.S. There's going to be a movie called Out on Stage. It's a queer stand-up special. It's 90 minutes. It has like 17 queer comics. A variety of topics will be covered. But yeah, check fathomevents.com. Enter in your zip code. Find out the nearest theater to you. There'll be one close, Great. Go check it out.
And I know there's a lot. Yeah, I know a handful of other comics who are on that. I know Kyle Shire's on there. Joe Dosh. It's great. It's very exciting.
Yeah.
And you guys should definitely go see that. A real lineup of fantastic comedians.
Yeah.
So go check that out.
Cool.
You can find me on the internet at Diet J on Twitter and Instagram, jlightcomedy.com for all show dates. And hey, I would really appreciate if you left a nice review on iTunes. I'll start if we get enough, I'll start reading those on the air. Right now I've got more ratings. You guys are really stepping your game up on the rating front. But leave some reviews and maybe I'll start reading some on the air. And maybe you guys can pitch some movies that somebody can talk about at some point. That'd be fun. This has been Blockbusting. Go see something good for a change.